Hey guys, how's it going? This is Zach here, and today I'd like to talk to you about self-love. Incorporating a daily practice of self-love into my life has completely changed my life. So, for many years, I've worked on developing my mind and being able to understand principles of the universe and wisdom within ancient texts, and I feel like I've developed that part of myself in a very big way. But for many years, even though I was developing myself in that way, there was still something missing. And it was reflected in the abundance that I was receiving in my life. It was reflected in the relationships that I was attracting to me. It was reflected in my thoughts and the way that I felt. And all of that has shifted for me since I started practicing self-love. And so my intention for this video is to share with you how I practice self-love for me, and why I think these things are important. I feel like practicing self-love is the foundation for creating whatever it is that we want in the world. And I also feel like we can't share love with anybody else if we don't know how to love ourselves first. So self-love is really extremely important. So first of all, when I think of self-love for myself, I consider self-love on 4 different levels. I consider self-love for my physical body. I consider self-love for my mind, my mental thoughts, what kind of thoughts I'm thinking. I consider self-love for my emotions, what sort of emotions I'm taking into my heart, and how those emotions are affecting me. And I'm also considering self-love for my spirit. Am I doing something that allows me to fulfill that calling of my soul? So those are the 4 levels that I think about. And like I said, I felt like I was developing and practicing self-love for my emotions and my mind and my spirit. I was learning how to think positive thoughts, and affirmations have been a huge tool for me in practicing self-love, for my mental body, for my emotions as well, because when you're thinking positive thoughts, you feel good. So the thoughts and the emotions are really tied into each other very strongly. For me, the spirit is kind of the spirit holds the blueprint of what your life is about, I believe that we come in with a purpose that we are trying to fulfill. And I believe that we also have free will and can choose not to achieve our purpose this lifetime. And so, I believe that we can work on ourselves so that we can make sure that we're doing what we need to do to successfully share our life purpose. So, let me start with my self-care routine for my physical body. First of all, the food that you put into your body is extremely important. You are what you eat. People understood that long ago, and that's why they farmed all their own food. Nowadays you have genetically modified foods. You have just all this stuff with crap in it, that just doesn't make you feel very good. It makes you feel weighed down and lethargic. At least that's how it made me feel. I can't speak for you. You all have to make the decisions that you need to make for your own self-care. But for me, my self-care includes a plant-based diet, vegan diet, and I just recently started doing that, and I noticed such a huge difference in my body in all levels. I'm thinking more positively when I eat clean, healthy foods, which makes me feel good. My emotional health has been just fantastic ever since I started eating plant-based vegan diet, which really consists of like smoothies, fruit, salads, avocado, nuts. There's lots of way to get protein. That's one of the things that I thought about when I thought about doing this, I was like, how am I going to get protein? I'm just going to be hungry all the time. But that's not the case. I feel full after I eat. I'm not starving myself or anything like that. So it's really not as difficult as I thought at one time. And it's really enjoyable. It all tastes good. It doesn't taste like crap. It tastes really good. So that's what I eat. As far as my exercise, I really started doing Kung Fu and Tai Chi, because I feel that it's important to exercise your body, but also to exercise the internal body as well. There's the external body, like your muscles, and you want to be toned and you want to be strong and you want to feel good and be flexible. But on the inside, you also have to train your inner world, which I think Tai Chi and Qigong and Reiki for me has been extremely powerful in my self-care for my inner reality. So I try to do Kung Fu and Tai Chi daily. And I work out, until I'm sweating, I work out hard. And I also meditate. I meditate hard too. I devote myself to what I put myself into. So, and I think self-care is very important. So I devote myself to that and I do it, I get out what I put into it. And that's the bottom line for that. For my mental health, for many years I went and saw a counselor, and that was so helpful for me. I'm not currently doing that because I guess it got to a point for me where I felt like I would go in and I was having a conversation with the counselor who I loved. He was a very intelligent person who helped me through so much stuff. I went to him for years. Years. And it just came to a point where I couldn't afford it anymore. But I felt like it was a blessing in disguise, because it allowed me to realize that I came to a point in my life where I could give myself my own guidance. I didn't have to look outside of myself for answers anymore. So it's very important to me to follow my intuition. There's so many things I don't know how they're going to work out, but I know they're going to work out. And I know that my intuition is going to tell me what I need to do in every moment. So I may not have it all figured out, but I know that it's going to work out. And that's another self-care, is like having faith that you're worthy of receiving good things, that good things are going to happen for you, and that you love yourself enough to let yourself succeed. Give yourself every opportunity to share the gifts that you have, the talents that you have, the abilities that you have to share with the world. Because, if you have these abilities and you're not using them, then they're just, they weren't just given to you for you. They were given to you to share with the world. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to encourage others to do. So if I can inspire people to share their gifts and their talents and their abilities the same way that I'm trying to do, then I feel like that's a really positive thing for me to do. So going back to how I take care of myself, the self-love for the mental health. I do positive affirmations every day. I also get clear with myself. I wrote down months ago the intentions and the goals that I have for myself. So it's become very powerful for me to look at my goals daily and to remind myself of what it is that I want to create in my life. Because you have to get very clear about what you want to create before you can create it. So that's one thing that I do. I write down my goals. I read through those goals, and when I accomplish those goals, I cross it off the list, and I write down my next set of goals. I use positive affirmations to affirm that my goals have already been accomplished. That's using the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the principle of vibration, understanding that when you vibrate at a certain level, you will attract like things that vibrate at that same level. So if you're vibrating in a state of lack all the time, which I've done for many years, then you can only create more lack for yourself. If you vibrate at abundance, even if you don't see abundance around you, you will start to manifest that abundance into your life, because that is the principle of vibration. So mental health for me The way I practice self-love around that is through positive affirmations, through writing down my goals, and also just through allowing myself to be who I am, giving myself permission to just be myself. And practicing the 4 agreements is something that has been a benchmark for my mental health self-care routine. If you have not read that book, go check it out, because likely it will change your life. It will change your perspective, I should say. It will change the way you think about certain things, and that will then lead to changing your life. Because when you change your thoughts, when you change your belief systems, then your life, your paradigms begin to shift. But you have to become aware of the thoughts that are impeding your process. You have to become aware of the thoughts that run through your brain on a daily basis, because the thoughts that you're thinking and the emotions that you're feeling are what attract your experiences to you. Another thing that I practice for mental health is gratitude. So a book that changed my life was The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. She's the same lady that created The Secret. If you've heard of that, that was pretty big on sharing the secret of the law of attraction and how to create anything you desire. So I'll probably be creating another video about that to share my thoughts and my experiences around that as well. But The Magic is all about using gratitude to change your life. And you begin to realize that you may say thank you and you may think that you're a very grateful person, but when you begin to think about all the things that there are to be grateful for on a daily basis, right down to the most simple of like the air that we breathe, like breathe in that air, breathe in that life force energy. The life force energy is all around us. I will also be making more videos about that, because in my work with Reiki, that's all about working with life force energy. Okay, so Reiki is, I will do another video about that, but now is not the time to go into that. Let's see. Is there anything else I would like to share with you? I need some water. About my mental health self-care. I mean, reading books and just getting new ideas that way is very powerful. Sharing ideas with people. Excuse me. So, once you read a book and you find an idea that's really intriguing to you, go share it with somebody. Go talk about it with somebody, because the act of sharing it with somebody will give you a different perspective, because they will have their perspective on what it is you're talking about. And once you start attracting people in your life that enjoy talking about the same things you do, that's when magic begins to happen, because the conversations could go on for hours and it would all be very joyful. At least that's my experience. I love having conversations with people about sharing ideas, because I firmly believe that it is in the sharing of great truths that humanity will reach new heights. That's what I believe. So, emotional health. I think that, for me, going out into nature is one way that I take care of my emotional health and my mental health and my physical health and my spiritual health. I mean, Mother Nature is there for us, and she heals us, man. So as much time as you can spend out in nature, do it. Emotional health. I mean, positive affirmations also help on the emotional level as well. My self-care routine for everything that I do also includes Reiki, yoga. So, I have many, many tools that I use for my self-care. We shouldn't just limit ourselves. There's so many different things that we can do to take care of ourselves. And when we feel good, we attract good things into our lives. So, I heard somebody say once, if you if you focus on your career, you will make a living. If you focus on yourself, you will make a fortune. And I firmly believe that because I understand that we're surrounded by a bunch of belief systems that we didn't choose. There's a lot of belief systems in the world when we're born. So we're born into this world that's full of these belief systems, and we learn these belief systems. And everybody knows these same belief systems, but they're not based on any truth. They're based on what we were told when we were growing up. So I've learned that I can choose new belief systems. So that's something that really helps me out. And on a spiritual level, being of service to the world is something that is self-care for me. But also, going out into nature, meditation to experience connection with that part of me that is one with the all, that is one with spirit, that is one with whatever name that you would like to give it. We are all connected to that, and once we begin to have more awareness of that part of ourselves, we will, oh my God, we will have heaven on earth, I mean, we're all capable of so much greatness. And so that's why I want to share these videos, because I want to inspire people. So if this video inspires you, like it, share it, and comment below. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about all of this? And what is your self-care routine? How do you take care of yourself? How do you take care of yourself? So, thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Spread around the love and the joy, and until next time, blessings.